In the last video, we introduced the formation of characteristics of the gold standard system. Now, let's explore the content of its characteristic of gold standard in details. To be exactly, the characteristic of gold species standard, characteristic 1, from the aspect of BP adjustment mechanism. The BP adjustment mechanism under gold standard is called price-species flow mechanism. The theory was recognized by David Hume, the Scottish philosopher, in 1752. The picture shows the mechanisms of price-species flow. Suppose the country's BP was in deficit, which means the gold flowing out of the country, because gold equaled currency in circulation. Gold flowing out would bring the money supply and price level decrease, which would promote export. So the initial BP deficit would turn into surplus. BP surplus means gold flow in, which bring about the money supply and price level increased. So would promote import, and the BP surplus would turn into deficit. So we can say the BP adjustment mechanism was a kind of automatic adjustment system. There's no need for the government to intervene. Characteristic 2, from the aspect of exchange rate system. The exchange rate system under gold species standard is the fixed exchange rate system. The rules of game is that the exchange rate between two currencies will be determined by the two countries' gold parities. For example, in British, pound was pegged at 2.2472 pounds per ounce, while in the United States, the government declared US dollar to be convertible to gold at a rate of $20.67 per ounce. Then, the exchange rate of US dollar versus British pound could be determined by the gold prices in dollar and pound, which was $20.67 over 4.2472 pound equals $4.8665 per pound. Under gold species standard, gold coins were used as circulation currencies, so the gold parity was called mint parity. The mint parity determined the central level of the exchange rates, which means the exchange rate was usually fluctuated around the central level of mint parity. Here is two questions about the exchange rate system under gold species standard. Question 1. How the parity of currencies, gold parity or mint parity, were maintained? The answer is that countries had to maintain adequate gold reserves to back their currency's value, so the gold price would be fixed in every country, and then the gold parity of every two currencies could be fixed. Question 2. How the exchange rates of different currencies or mint parities were maintained? The answer is that governments fixed the gold parities of their currencies and agreed to buy or sell gold on demand with anyone at its own fixed parity rate. Once gold parities of currencies were fixed, then mint parity would be fixed. Under gold specie standard, the amount of paper currencies issued by government were 100% prepared by the amount of gold reserves, while under the currency paper standard system, the amount of paper currencies issued by government is not prepared by the gold anymore. Of course, the foreign exchange rate would fluctuate around the mint parity within gold points, which equal to mint parity plus or minus gold transportation fee. The upper limit of exchange rate equals to the gold export point. The floor level of exchange rate equals to the gold import point. In the international trade, a native importer could pay with foreign currency or gold. If foreign currency was appreciated, the cost of home currency exchange for foreign currency would increase. Then the importer would transport gold abroad and exchange gold for foreign currency to pay. So the ceiling level of the foreign exchange rate would equal to the mint parity plus the gold transportation fee, which is the gold export point, also the upper limit of exchange rate. A native exporter could require to be paid with foreign currency or gold. If the foreign currency depreciated, that's to say, the foreign currency would exchange for less home currency, then the native exporter would use foreign currency to buy gold abroad and transport the gold back home country. So the floor level of foreign exchange rate would equal to the mint parity minus the gold transportation fee, which is the gold import point, also the lower limit of exchange rate. Characteristic 3. From the aspect of reserve assets. Under the gold standard, gold was the final liquidation means and final standard for value. Holding pounds was more profitable than holding gold since there were interest by holding pound, but there was cost when holding gold. Pound became the world currency under gold standard. In the two videos, we studied the characteristic of formation and content of gold specie standard. Next video, we'll learn the evaluation and derivative of gold standard, the gold bullion standard, and gold exchange standard. Thank you.